At this point, most of us have at least heard of implicit biases. The subject has become common in psychology classes nationwide and is frequently discussed in the media. Implicit biases are simply our unconscious tendency to think about others differently based on stereotypes. Our interactions with others are always influenced by expectations and assumptions we absorb from our society. In the case of implicit biases, however, this subconscious background noise all works in one direction, against the type of person we've unwittingly learned to fear or distrust or look down upon. The most famous examples of implicit bias, of course, are with racial stereotypes, specifically black people being unconsciously discriminated against by whites. But the concept applies to countless groups and interactions. Every time we encounter someone, it's possible that some bias we aren't fully aware of is changing how we think about and treat them. It's not hard to imagine how insidiously serious the consequences of these unconscious biases multiplied across an entire society can be. But it can be hard to know what you, a single individual, can do. The first and most important step is just to become aware of what your implicit biases are. Be mindful of patterns in your emotions and behavior. Look for times when your instinctual response to someone can't be explained, or when the reasons your brain flimsily constructs or pulls from conventional wisdom don't really hold up to scrutiny or align with your beliefs. Then you can start trying to counteract your biases. But another valuable response is to change the way you unconsciously view someone. Scientists studying these types of interactions and biases experimented with the types of information we're trying to get from assessing their physical appearance. We might focus on the broad categories we can place another person in, and see them as merely another instance of a group we think we understand. Or we can try to find out something that's harder to tell from their appearance or social categories alone, forcing us to actually consider them as an individual. Shifting your perspective this way may seem simple, but it's incredibly powerful. It can completely change how your brain responds to someone on the chemical level. When you look at someone and see them as just another instance of a group we're unconsciously more likely to fear or look down on, your amygdala lights up. This part of your brain is associated with disgust and aggression. It's not hard to see how that could change your behavior. But if you break out of the categorization frame and look at someone as an individual, your amygdala is less likely to activate in the same way and more likely to just remain neutral. The best part about this research is that the only thing these scientists did to get people to change their perspectives was ask them to consider what vegetables the other person would prefer. You can't really know if someone likes carrots or peas better, after all, unless you've shared a few meals with them. It's a completely mundane, insubstantial thing to consider, which is why it subverts all the serious things that normally come to our mind when we look at someone's face. Once we break out of these stereotypes and really see someone as their self, a unique individual, we can reform our understanding of them as we learn more about each other. Maybe we share a love of Brussels sprouts, or maybe we'll forever disagree about whether peas should even be considered edible. Maybe we have more in common than we thought, maybe less. Maybe we find that we really like them or really don't. Regardless of what we end up thinking, however, we can be sure that we're really thinking about this person, not just the group we subconsciously sort them into.